do an example of a thermal decomposition reaction. In this case, we're going to be using potassium chlorate here in this particular large test tube. As you can see, for this type of reaction, you better be using safety glasses because anytime you have a flammable oxidizer like potassium chlorate or anything that might produce a gas, you always have an explosion hazard. So, safety, very important. Now, this is how you do this type of reaction. You need a Bunsen burner. We have to get this Bunsen burner started. And we need to adjust the flame to where we're getting a very hot flame and one that's not very large. We don't need a very large flame. So if I can put this a little closer, as you can see, it's not a very large flame. Now, before we get started, I want you to notice a few things about this setup. What I've got here is this large test tube clamped to a ring stand. Now, you don't have to use a ring stand. Sometimes you can use a test tube clamp and do something similar. I'm using this setup because it also works very well for doing a burning splint test, which will be the subject of another demonstration. Alright, now to perform this test and to perform it effectively, you're going to use the hottest part of the flame. As you can see on the video, the inner cone, the very light blue inner cone of this flame. That's the hottest part. Now whenever I start heating this, I move it backwards and forwards very gently under the bottom of the test tube. Now, something you should also note, this test tube is aimed away from me, and it should also be aimed away from your lab partners or other people in lab. And what will start to happen with this particular material is it begins to melt. Now, this is a little difficult to see in this video, but that's what I am doing. It's starting to decompose. Now, a lot of times you need to slow down. Materials like potassium chlorate and some of the other oxo compounds will decompose very quickly and shoot out the top of the Bunsen burner, so you have to be very, very careful. We'll continue this particular decomposition. Now, this type of decomposition, now this compound's not completely decomposed. Sometimes these reactions take a very, very long time. Sometimes they take several minutes, as in 15, 20 minutes to do effectively. You should always ask your instructor as to how your progress is moving along with any decomposition reaction that you're doing. So whenever you're doing this, be very careful. Make sure to always wear your safety glasses. Beware of contaminants inside your test tube, because sometimes if they combine with these strong oxidizers, like in this case potassium chlorate, you can get explosions. Not a very good thing to have flying glass going all over the lab. So be careful, work safely, work effectively.